Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to come to you today with a Friday Reads. I wanted to let you know how life is going, what's going on, and what am I dipping in and out of as far as my reading goes. And I wanted to show you some new books that I got. And I got a surprise for the end. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with, just a recap of life. And right now in my life, what has been keeping me very, very busy is at school. We've got, we'll have a grade check next Monday. So I've been working really hard to get my grades all caught up. And I think we're going to be good to go. And I'll be able to get some reading done this weekend because I won't have to do any paper grading. But the biggest thing at school that's kept me busy has been basketball. Here in Iowa, with our middle school boys, some schools go from November, December, and then they take a second half of their season into January. At our school, and there's other schools that do this also, at our school we get all of our middle school boys basketball stuff all done before Christmas, and then that gives our boys a chance to wrestle in the winter season with January and on into February. We find that to be kind of important just because we're a small school, and if we want kids to be able to do both sports, and we don't want to split our numbers because being a small school, you don't want to split your talent, and so we try to give them a chance to do both sports. And so anyway, long story short, we are at the point where we're starting to wrap up our season. We're in the second half of our season, and boy, oh boy, I tell you, the kids have shown so much improvement this year. We have a really solid seventh grade group who they can play some basketball, and they've done real well all season long. And then we have an eighth grade group who has made leaps and bounds from where they started last year to this point, and they're becoming very, very competitive, and they're on the brink of beginning to win a lot of ball games. They're right there, and I've just really enjoyed watching their progression over the last 2 years. They're just doing a lot of good things. Last night we had ball games, and we played one of our rivals, and the eighth grade group, they did lose, but they lost to a very, very good team. It's one of the best teams we play all year, and the first time they played us, we got blown out, and it wasn't pretty. And so this is the second time we'd played them, and when we played them, we kept it relatively close for a lot of the game. And so I was very very tickled with that. At the end, they got the team we were playing has some really good shooters, and they started to stretch their lead. But we fought hard till the end, and like I said, just doing a lot of things right. And then in the second game with our seventh grade just they took control of the game. That's all I'll say about that. We ended up getting a 41-7 win, and we held them scoreless in the second half. And anytime you hold a team scoreless in a half, that's always impressive. So anyway, basketball's getting going, or wrapping up rather. We've got another game tonight, and then we got two more next week, and then the final one that week right before Christmas. And so we'll be done with that. But we've just seen a lot of good stuff out of our kids. I've been very, very proud of them. So that's been the biggest thing that we've been looking at. And as far as my classroom goes, my sixth grade right now, we're studying economics and looking at all of the basic principles of economics, supply and demand, and factors of production, and all that kind of stuff. And they're doing a really good job with what could be a kind of a hard subject for sixth grade students. And so I've been real happy with what we're getting accomplished there. My seventh grade group is in World War II. We actually yesterday we put in a video over from World War II in color, and we'd been talking about Hitler and his aggression across Europe. And so yesterday we invaded Poland, and we watched World War II in color, and actually watched the Blitzkrieg roll through Poland. And so that gives the kids a real a real good perspective of what that was like, because it's all, footage from World War II. And so that was real good. And then my 8th grade class right now is they are covering taxation after the French and Indian War and that build up towards the American Revolution. And right now we're working on a DBQ, document-based questions, that deals with the Boston Massacre. And it's always a good one. It's one of my favorite DBQs, because the kids, they just do a lot of historical thinking while they're going through the DBQ. A lot of the skills are used. And then my high school class for world history, they're doing projects to finish out the school year. We had just wrapped up our medieval unit, and so we're actually going backwards in history, which I typically don't do. I try to keep things on a timeline, but we're going backwards in history. They're broken into groups, and I let them choose. We got some covering the Romans, some covering the Greeks, some covering the Egyptians, some covering ancient India, some covering ancient China. So we're kind of all over the world covering different aspects of ancient history. And they're going to put together a project that they're going to present to the class, and they've got a whole checklist of things they have to have in their project. So that's going to keep them busy, and hopefully we'll have a really good product at the end when we go to present. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the book stuff, because that's probably why you're here. So my reading right at the moment, I've been dipping in and out of my favorite book that I like to read around Christmas time, and that's Skipping Christmas. This is a book you could knock out in one afternoon very easily. It's only 177 pages, and it's kind of a smaller book. So you could knock that out in an afternoon. I like to dip in and out of it because each chapter is kind of a short chapter, 8 to 10 pages maybe, and there's always something funny, a new event happening in this, and it's all about Luther Crank and his wife Nora Crank, and they have made the decision. Mainly it's Luther that made the decision. He's an accountant, and so he really crunches numbers, and he was noticing that they spent $6,100 at Christmas time the previous year. And so he has this idea, since his daughter went off to the Peace Corps and she's in Peru, they're going to skip Christmas this year. They're going to skip all of the decorating, the donating, the buying, and all of that. And they're going to save their money, and they're going to go on a cruise in the Caribbean. And it's only going to cost them about $3,000. So in the end, he's easily saving $3,000 altogether, or $3,100 altogether for Christmas. And he's just all about it. They're at the tanning booth, they're eating right and losing weight so they'll look good in their swimsuits, bikinis, and it's a riot because all of his neighbors, if you can notice on the picture there, they all light their houses up. They got just regular Christmas lights. You've got the Santa Clauses, and then you've got Luther Crank's house, who has nothing because he's made that decision. He's not going to decorate. He's not going to do anything. And just funny things come up throughout the book. And I am at the point, if you guys are familiar with the story, I am at the point with this morning I read about the Christmas carolers and them coming in front of the house from the Lutheran church, and all the neighbors are joining in, and Luther's getting angry that they're trespassing on his property. And anyway, all kinds of stuff going on in that. It's like a new mishap every chapter, and I giggle as I read it. Again, you could read it in one afternoon, but I like to dip in and out of it. Another one that I was reading on a couple days this week was Brian Kilmeade's new book, The President and the Freedom Fighter, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, and their battle to save America's soul. And this is a real good book to complement my buddy read that I'm doing, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But the President and the Freedom Fighter, I mean, it's about Lincoln and Frederick Douglass and their fight to end slavery. And right now I'm at the point, I'm not real far in the book. What am I, I just finished chapter 3 this morning. This is one you could probably knock out in a long afternoon, for me anyway, a long afternoon. But it's a quick read. Excuse me. Lincoln just got elected to Congress, just got married, and just had his first kid, and so his political career is on the rise. He's starting to make a name for himself. And then Frederick Douglass in the story has just had his he's been doing little speeches here and there. He's a escaped slave, if you're not familiar with Frederick Douglass, and he's an escaped slave, but he's been doing speeches in churches and stuff like that, abolitionist speaking to end slavery. And so he just got done speaking at Nantucket, where he first really got to know William Lloyd Garrison. And Garrison has just offered him a contract to go on a speaking tour and work for the abolitionist movement on a full-time basis. And so that's where I'm at in this one. Again, short chapters, pretty short and compact. Kilmeade does a really good job of taking what could be a big subject and breaking it down and summarizing it and having a story that flows real well for the average audience who might not know a whole lot about these two individuals, or in any of his books, any of the individuals. So very excited about this book. I've actually been asked to do a review for our library on that book, so that'll be my first actual written review. I'm going to try that and see how it goes. If it goes well, yay. If not, well, I don't have to do it again. So next one that I dipped into, I finished chapter 1. I started this like last week, and I just hadn't come back to it. But it's an interesting book. It's a little drier than the rest of them I'm reading, so that's why I struggled to come back to it immediately. But it's not bad. I don't want to say it's bad. It's just a slower paced read, and it's God Rest Ye Merry Soldiers, A True Civil War Christmas Story. And it's by James McIver, and he is going through and just telling about Christmas during the Civil War. And like I said, I just got done with the first 30 pages, the first chapter, and it has just talked about what Christmas was like right before the Civil War, and then what is it like during the up to the point of the second year of the war. And it was giving a little bit of the history of Christmas and how it really came to be in the United States, the celebrated holiday that it was by the time the Civil War came around. And so that's interesting. That is one that could be knocked out fairly quick. If I sat down in an afternoon, I could knock that out. Of these two books, I probably will knock at least one of them, if not both of them, knock them out this weekend. And not sure. It'll kind of depend. Sometimes family stuff comes up, so maybe not. We'll see. I want to at least get one of them. So the other book that I've been reading very heavily the last 2 weeks, because I was trying to catch up in the buddy read from when I was sick with COVID. I had a week there where I didn't read anything. And so I was doing a lot of catch-up work, and now I'm back to where I should be in my reading. I didn't read it this morning because I was reading those books, but I will get back to it tomorrow morning. I'll probably knock out a couple chapters tomorrow morning. But it's David Blight's Pulitzer Prize winning biography of Frederick Douglass, Prophet of Freedom. And like I said, that book by Brian Kilmeade matches up really well with this. And I got all the way through chapter 21 yesterday. I will be starting chapter 22. There are 31 chapters and an epilogue in the book. So essentially 32 chapters in this book. So I'm getting close to the end. I'm at the last, it doesn't look like 1/3, but it is the last 1/3. This is a long book. It has, if you include the index and sources and everything, it's 892 pages. It is a chunky monkey. And it has about, was it 750? Nope, a little bit more than that. With the actual text, it's 764 pages. And I am on page 464. So I'm getting there. That's what I'll say for that. I'm getting there. But this is really good. We just got done reading the Civil War chapters with, Frederick Douglass and his relationship with Abraham Lincoln and what he was doing during the Civil War, helping with the 54th Massachusetts. His own two sons fought for the 54th Massachusetts. Well, one fought and the other one was sick for a long time. I don't know if he actually even did any fighting, but he did work towards recruiting. Both of them were helping to recruit for the war effort. Douglass helped to recruit for the war effort. And we just got done with chapter 21 was all about the 13th Amendment and getting the 13th Amendment passed and then getting into Lincoln's second inaugural address. And so that's where I'm at in the book as far as timeline goes. And it is excellent. Anybody out there who wants an in-depth study of Frederick Douglass, go check out David Blight's book. This is a wonderful, wonderful book. I'm really glad that I started reading it, and I'm really glad I'm doing a buddy read for this because you can bounce ideas. We were just talking in Voxer yesterday, and when I say we, it's me and Peg at the History Shelf and Lukash at a Cruel Reader's Thesis and Patrice Jones. And we're all reading this together. And, we were just talking about yesterday as we read this, it's really good because, my mindset when I'm reading books, a lot of times my mindset is, how can I use this in my classroom? How can I get this information across to my kids? What's entertaining? What's maybe not so entertaining for kids? And that's kind of where my mind goes. Sometimes it goes into deeper thought, but a lot of times it's based on my kids. I'm enjoying the story, but how can I use this and make it available to my kids? And where a lot of other people, they're going into those deeper thoughts, and it's really nice to have that, be able to bounce those ideas off of each other. So anybody out there on BookTube who has not done a buddy read, you need to do a buddy read. It is very fulfilling as you're reading a book. It's very fulfilling to be able to have that extended conversation with people because they, no matter how well versed you are in a subject area, when you're reading through something, if you've got somebody else that's reading it, there's always their opinion or their insight, they read it from a different angle. And there's just a lot of good, back and forth conversation that if you're not doing buddy reads, you're missing out. Go try that out. All right, so that brings me to the new books that have entered the Ruttenberg Library. And actually, I'm going to start off with a Hot Wheel because you guys know I love Hot Wheels. And this first one's a Matchbox. I kind of collectively call them Hot Wheels because that's all I ever got for the most part when I was a kid was Hot Wheels. So I always call them all Hot Wheels. So forgive me, all of you Matchbox collectors. But last night I had to go to the store. I had to get some soup for my sick daughter. And so I bought a 1948 Willys Jeep. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't think I might have one other Jeep, but it's a modern Jeep. But I thought that was really neat. That was one car I bought. And then the other day we had to run to Walmart. A couple of days ago we had to run to Walmart. And I got a Hot Wheel that was absolutely fabulous. Except for when we got home with the groceries, I took Katie upstairs to give her a bath and stuff. And my wife was putting away the groceries. And she took my Hot Wheel. And she said, oh, that would make a nice stocking stuffer. So I picked my own stocking stuffer. And she wrapped it up, and it's in my stocking. And yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? But to tell you what it was a 1965 Ford Mustang. It was like a maroon red color, had a little sparkle in the paint. It was a convertible. It was sweet. I don't have one of those in my collection. And so I was very happy to add that to my collection. But I can't show you because I don't have it. It's wrapped up. But anyway, let's look at the books that I've got. The other day it was probably a week and a half ago, something like that. We took my daughter to the Clarinda Library, and they always have a Friends of the Library stand right in the doorway. And it's just a couple of book carts that they put books on there, and it has a little box to donate money, $1 per book. And so I was looking on there, and I found this biography for James Madison, A Life Considered by Lynn Cheney. I think that's how you pronounce her name. This is the only bad spot, and I know I heard Scott at the Bookish Bryant's complain about this in one of his videos. Why do you put stickers on the stinking books? And then you can't get the stinking stickers off, and I might be able to peel a little bit off, but there's still going to be a nasty little residue on there. That is the only thing wrong with this book. This book is in absolutely brand new condition. I don't even know if anybody read it. I mean, it is pristine, if you could see. It is pristine. I don't know if anybody read it, but again, I don't have a whole lot of books on James Madison. You'll notice there's nice photography in the middle, all kinds of the paintings from the time period, his family members in there, different places that were important in his lifespan. This book does have some really good blurbs on the back. You got Jay Winnick, Michael Beschloss. He's a presidential historian, and then David Mattern. And so let me read this real fast to you. This extraordinary biography vividly portrays James Madison and the genius he brought to our nation's founding and early years. An iconoclast from his first entrance into politics, he was by age 36 championing what had long been thought impossible: a vast republic, a great nation of self-governing people such as the world had never seen. Madison brought this vision to the Philadelphia Convention in 1787 and saw to it its embodiment in the Constitution of the United States. Madison not only was the intellectual force behind the creation of the Constitution, he was essential to its ratification, offering a powerful defense in the Federalists. He went on to lead the first Congress and serve as President Washington's chief advisor. With a political savvy unmatched since, he secured passage of the Bill of Rights, and in 1812 he became the first president to lead the nation in war under the Constitution. And he was not only a steady commander-in-chief, but a friend of liberty, refusing to silence those opposed to war, although many pressed him to do so. Now Madison is given his due in a majestic biography that encompasses the whole man, his mind, his deeds, and his character. Lynn Cheney, a seasoned observer of political life as well as best-selling author, explores the sources of Madison's genius and explodes the myths that have burdened his reputation. Far from being shy, he was a masterful politician who understood the uses of reticence, stereotyped in our time as forever sickly or imagining himself to be. He was very often vigorous, and when at crucial times he was out of action, it was usually because of seizures, which he described in a way that fit with a modern understanding of epilepsy. Using breakthrough research, Cheney explores the ways Madison's disorder and the dogma surrounding it fortified his commitment to intellectual freedom. So it sounds like it's going to be a really good biography. Again, I was real excited. Only $1, and it's in brand new condition. Not even sure if it's been read. The next book got me excited when I saw it because just the other day on one of my videos, a couple videos back, I was it was a tag, and it was talking about mismatched books. Does that bug you? And I made mention of, let me grab it. I made mention of the Ken Follett series, this paperback. I've got the other two books in really pretty hardbacks. This would be pretty if it was in a hardback, and it mismatches. So I've got this floppy book with a nasty sticker. Well, I just got done complaining about that in the tag. And the very next day, I walk into the library, and on the cart is the hardback of Ken Follett's Book 3 in the Century Trilogy, Edge of Eternity. And again, this is another one that is in brand new condition. It may have been read once, maybe. It looks like it hasn't been really read at all. It is in perfect condition. And I have read Book 1 in the series. I want to get into Book 2. It'll be later next year. Real excited to, and really excited to now have 3 all-matching hardback books for this series. So now I got to take this one and go send it to the donation pile. Because that's definitely part of the agreement with my wife. I got to get rid of doubles. So that brings me to, that brings me to the last 2 books. and then the surprise here at the end of the video. So my last two books were in the mail yesterday. So this is a bit of a little mail haul that I had. And I had, Rick McComber sent me two books, very kindly sent me two books. He wanted to send me I think a get well gift, and from when I was sick, and he had noticed that I had showed this book in a previous video, probably a month and a half ago, and it's Catastrophe 1914, Europe Goes to War by Max Hastings. I've never read Hastings. I was real excited to get this. I took my 7th graders to the World War I Museum, and I ventured off into the gift shop for a couple minutes and found it. Bought it brand new. So I got this, it's a paperback, never been read, brand spanking new. Well, he sent me as a gift a hardback of it. And so now you guys know the rules. The compromise with my wife, I got to get rid of doubles. And so I have this book by Max Hastings. I'm not going to reread it because I've read it in a previous video, but it is a beautiful book. I want to show you the end pages of this book. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So that would be like right before the war started, and then here is the view right after the war started. And so you obviously get the before and after effects of what World War I did to Europe. But this book, it has great little sections with, the photography. There's one of the German generals. So you get the idea. I don't need to flip through all of the pictures, but it's got a couple. It's actually got, here's another section. It's got a couple sections of photos. So I'm real excited to get this hardback. And also I'm going to be doing a buddy read next year. I'm not sure exactly when. We got to get it scheduled, but Peg and I are going to do a buddy read on this one. So I was real happy to get the hardback version. So I'll come back to that paperback in just a second. The other book that he sent that I was not expecting, it was just kind of a surprise. He said he was throwing in an extra one, and it is a paperback version of Bruce Catton's This Hallowed Ground. And I had actually never seen this version of it. There's all kinds of copies out there. And of course, I like Bruce Catton. He's one of my favorite Civil War authors. He tells a really good story. I've been reading through his Civil War trilogy. I've got the first 2 books done. Got to get book 3 read. And so this was really nice to add to the collection. Thank you for that, Rick. So that was all of the new books I got. We're sitting at 27 minutes, so I'll try to wrap this up. But here's the big surprise. And if you've stuck with me for the 27, 28 minutes, you'll get to take part in the giveaway. So the channel, my channel just hit 900 subscribers this week, and went real fast. We had that 800 subscriber Q&A, and then like things exploded, and we got to 900 pretty quick. So I was real excited about that. And so in celebration of the 900 subscribers mark, I am going to do a book giveaway. And so the paperback version, this is a brand new book, never been read, bought at the World War I Museum gift shop. I've never read it, so it's untouched other than me showing you on the camera. I haven't even shelved this yet. It's been sitting over here in a pile of books, like on the top of the pile. Has not been knocked over or anything like that. It's in perfect condition. But for the giveaway, I want to give away my paperback version of Catastrophe 1914, Europe Goes to War by Max Hastings. So any of you who are World War I fans who would be interested in this book and interested in helping me celebrate 900 subscribers, leave a message in the comments saying, I am interested in the book. I would be happy to send it to you. And what I will do is I will wait a week. And let's see, what's today? Today is the 10th. Let's do, let's just do, how many days? Let's do a solid 1 week. Next Friday or Saturday. Saturday is when I'll do the drawing. So we'll do next Saturday on the, what would that be? The 18th, I think. We will do a drawing for this book. and we'll see who, if you put in the comments section that you'd be interested in that book, you will go into the drawing, and whoever gets pulled out of the hat, I will put it in that video next Saturday, and then all you have to do is contact me via my email, which I leave in every comment section, and or not comments, the description box. I leave it in the description box. Email me your address and stuff, and I will send it off to you. Be happy to do that. I know there's been plenty of people who have sent me books, and I really appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate that you follow the channel. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. This has been very humbling, and I'm just pretty excited about where the channel's going. So thank you for watching BookTube if you've stuck around this long. And well, right now I got to get off to school. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. I hope your weather's doing well. We haven't talked about the weather. We've been in the around the 30-degree mark, 30 to 34 degrees, right in there for the last week. Guess what? In a couple of days, they're calling for the 60s. It's like a roller coaster with our, I wish we would let's hit winter and get it over with. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope everyone has a great day, great weekend. Happy reading.